Okay, I'm sorry for some issues with had some issues with the streaming streaming program, so we have a little bit to discuss today. So let's try at least try to finish today for today. So okay, then yeah, as you remember, some minutes ago, we finished with such so-called methods without the implementation, and in this case, in this particular case or in general case, these methods are used just without the implementation, right? So we just can use them as signature. As a signature, we'll talk more about the casting, about some virtual methods, some hidden, no, not hidden, but yeah, virtual methods. We'll talk about them most likely on Friday, and after that, definitely we'll talk about them. But yeah, the idea is that we just create the signature of the method, and then we implement it in a subclass. It's like, okay, I won't do it now, but I hope you got the idea that we have the method here, then we implement it somewhere. For example, let's implement after the constructor. We implement it somewhere here. And here we have something to print. Um, print just here is this description of the employee. It's not really important, just yeah, because I can't imagine the good example for this case, but I hope you get the idea that in a more specific case, like not such simple like person and manager and so on and so on, in object-oriented programming, it is widely used that there's just the method without the implementation, and everything is implemented in the subclasses, which is also possible. And one more thing which is also possible in object-oriented programming is that, for example, the class, okay, not in this case, but yeah, it's possible. Imagine that it's possible that the class person is not used for the object creation. So we use person. We use this class just to use this class as the parent class for the subclasses. Yes, it's also possible, and yes, there's such possibility that no one will create the object with the reference to person, right? It's also not, it can be implemented in the way it's not possible, like if we define the constructor of this class as the protected one, that will mean that the class person can be used only for the subclasses, like in this case. So as you already know from the previous session, if we restrict the access to the constructor, it means that we cannot create the instance outside the class. And in this case, we cannot create we have no logic which creates the instance for the class person inside the class, and that's why we just use protected. It means that this particular class will only will only be used for the subclasses. Right? I hope you get the idea. And this is the main point for. Also, this is kind of the main point for the methods without the implementation. So it means that we will not use. In this case, since we don't use the class person, we will not call the exact this method, but this method will be used as the signature for person's subclasses. Alright, I think this is pretty clear. It's from current slide. Then we, yes, with overriding, just showed you the example. In general, subclass can modify behavior which is inherited from the subclass, right? This is true, and the subclass can define method with the same unique signature, unique method name, pass parameters, dep types, and return types. Yes, as it is written that it can define the signature, also it can define some behavior of the method, which can be specified in more unique way, in more specific way in the subclasses. And yeah, such redefined